A ring light flashes. A carefully curated video goes live. And just like that, the internet freezes, and Hollywood has a brand new obsession.
Yeah, and instantly a family's deepest, darkest trauma is broadcast to millions of strangers.
Welcome to Starscope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today we are doing a massive deep dive into a story that is literally breaking the internet right now. The headline is everywhere. Taylor Frankie Paul breaks silence as custody battle intensifies.
It is everywhere, you guys. We are wading right into the incredibly messy, highly publicized legal and personal battles of Taylor Frankie Paul. And we are pulling from a massive stack of sources for this deep dive today.
Oh, absolutely massive. We are looking at official court transcripts, entertainment news reports from Variety, local Utah news coverage, and of course, we are even parsing through those intense Reddit threads where people are forensically analyzing leaked documents.
Right. Because the mission for this deep dive is really clear. We're going to cut through the relentless social media noise.
Exactly.
We are separating the hard legal facts from the influencer spin. And we are exploring exactly how a very real, very serious custody and abuse investigation is playing out in the most unforgiving venue possible, which is, the court of public opinion.
Because when you blend the rigid, evidence-based world of family law with the hyper-visible, emotionally driven world of reality television and influencer culture, well, reality gets distorted very quickly. You stop dealing with facts and you start dealing with narratives.
Which is exactly why we need to start with the most severe escalation in this entire saga.
Yeah.
The moment the state of Utah officially got involved.
Yeah, that changed everything.
It really did. So when the Division of Child and Family Services, or DCFS, files a petition asking a juvenile court to step in, what does that actually look like legally? I mean, are they just doing a routine wellness check, or is this something much bigger?
Oh, it is significantly bigger than a wellness check. According to the local Utah reports, DCFS filed a petition asking the juvenile court to officially find Taylor's 3 children, quote, abused, neglected, or dependent.
Wow, those are heavy words.
Very heavy. They are actively seeking protective supervision and the appointment of a guardian ad litem. And so for you listening, just for context, a guardian ad litem is an independent attorney appointed by the state solely to advocate for the best interests of the children.
Wait, so the kids get their own lawyer?
Basically, yes. It means the state has looked at the situation and decided that the parents' interests are so heavily conflicted, or the home environment is just so volatile that the children absolutely require their own dedicated legal voice. Moving from family court to juvenile court under a DCFS petition, that is a major structural escalation.
And of course, because of the influencer world we were talking about, Taylor didn't respond with, like, a quiet legal filing. She took straight to Instagram. Yeah, she addressed a couple of specific allegations from that DCFS petition directly to her followers. For instance, there was a claim that she forced her 8-year-old daughter, Indy, to change her 2-year-old son's diapers.
Right, which sounds terrible on paper.
Exactly. But Taylor clarified that she never forced her, saying her daughter is just in a mommy's helper phase and genuinely likes to help with the baby.
She also addressed a much more procedural claim from the state. The petition alleged that Taylor had an outburst and actually left a DCFS worker completely alone in her home during an official visit.
Which sounds so wild, just walking out on a state worker.
Right. But Taylor's explanation was that she became overwhelmed and emotional, and she simply stepped outside to take a breather and de-escalate her feelings. She was adamant that she didn't just abandon a state worker in her house out of spite.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because this is exactly where the public scrutiny feels almost impossible for anyone to navigate. It is like living in a glass house, where even taking a deep breath outside is weaponized against you.
Yeah, it really is a glass house.
I mean, think about it. Isn't stepping away to cool down exactly what therapists tell you to do to self-regulate? Like, why is doing the responsible thing, removing yourself from a triggering situation so you don't have an actual outburst, being framed as a negative in a legal petition?
What's fascinating here is how the legal system interprets behavior in high-conflict environments, which is very different from how a therapist might view it on a couch.
Okay, how so?
Well, when DCFS is in your home, they aren't just looking for physical danger. They are actively assessing emotional stability and your baseline capacity to handle stress in real time.
Oh, wow. So they're judging every reaction.
Absolutely. From their perspective, leaving an investigator alone in your home during an active, high-stakes assessment demonstrates a lack of executive control. However, when you look at the broader legal context, the transition into juvenile court actually provides a much-needed framework. Family courts view these toxic dynamics holistically, not just as isolated incidents.
How does a judge look at that holistic picture, though? Because it sounds so subjective.
Take Commissioner Russell Means, for example. He recently presided over a hearing where mutual 3-year restraining orders were granted, which required Taylor and her ex-boyfriend Dakota Mortensen to stay 100 feet apart.
Right, this is following that viral 2023 domestic dispute with the throne chair, right?
Exactly, that whole awful situation. He evaluated their history and noted that while both had valid grounds for protective orders, their dynamic was profoundly toxic in very distinct ways. And the legal phrasing he used is crucial for us to understand.
What did he say?
He specifically categorized Taylor's behavior as reactive, whereas he described Dakota's behavior as calculating.
Reactive versus calculating. That distinction is huge. It completely implies that one person is acting out of immediate, unfiltered emotion, like abruptly stepping outside to breathe, while the other is strategically managing and manipulating the situation from behind the scenes.
Exactly. And you see that reactivity playing out in real time with Taylor's family rushing in to provide these big counter-narratives online. Her mother, Leanne May, actually issued a fierce public defense.
Oh yeah, I saw that. She was not holding back.
Not at all. She emphasized that the kids have a full-time nanny, they are well-fed, and they are, in her words, quite spoiled, and certainly not abused. It is a highly reactive defense to a very calculating legal threat.
And that toxic dynamic, that specific interplay between the reactive and the calculating, shows us exactly how information itself is being weaponized in the actual custody negotiation.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's not even the wildest part, you guys. Wait until you hear what came next with the secret custody offers, because it gets crazy.
It really does, because this brings us directly into the battle between Taylor and her two exes, Tate Paul and Dakota Mortensen. And this is where the conflict shifts from the sterile, quiet environment of the courtroom directly into the messy tabloids.
So, news recently leaked to the press that both fathers offered Taylor separate but identical custody agreements. According to TMZ and other reports, the offer on the table was that the fathers would take 60% custody, leaving Taylor with 40%.
Right, which sounds like a huge step down for a mother who is used to having them most of the time.
Exactly. And Taylor flatly rejected this. A source close to her told the press that she is a survivor, and they even quoted Taylor saying, quote, "So now I'm suddenly capable of parenting 40% of the time. Couldn't be more obvious what this is really about."
Which is such a powerful quote for the tabloids.
It is. But I have to admit, I am a bit confused by the father's strategy here. If they truly believe, as the state petitions suggest, that she is in active danger to the children, why would they willingly offer her 40% custody at all? It makes you wonder, is this about the kids' safety, or is it a strategic game of chess where the kids are just the pawns?
Think of it like a poison pill in a corporate merger. It is an offer designed to look entirely reasonable to the outside world, and more importantly, to the judge. The fathers can say, "Look, Your Honor, we are being generous. We are offering her nearly half the week." But it is legally and mathematically engineered to force the other party to reject it.
Okay, mathematically engineered. How does 40% force a rejection?
This is where the Reddit sleuths actually brought up a fantastic point regarding family law. And honestly, Reddit is basically its own legal detective agency at this point.
Seriously, they miss nothing.
They pointed out that in Utah, like in many states, child custody percentages are directly tied to child support algorithms. When a parent's physical custody time drops below that 50-50 mark, it often triggers a legal threshold.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. That threshold means they suddenly become responsible for paying substantial child support to the parent with majority custody. So online critics theorize that Taylor's refusal wasn't just a principled stand about child safety, it was a financial defense mechanism to avoid being legally locked into paying huge child support checks to her exes. And remember, 40% is actually a step up from her current temporary arrangement.
Oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense. It is entirely a strategic game of chess. But wait, how did the 60-40 offer even get to the press? Aren't these mediation settlements supposed to be completely confidential?
They absolutely are. And this raises an important question about how information leaks function as a calculated legal strategy. There is a massive, deep irony playing out here. In court, Taylor's attorneys have argued passionately for discovery protection orders.
Can you explain exactly how a discovery protection order works for those listening?
Essentially, it is a legal gag order on evidence. It legally binds the parties and their attorneys from releasing any documents, settlement offers, or evidence obtained during the lawsuit to the public. If you leak a private mediation offer, you are violating a court order. That can result in severe contempt charges.
Wow, so it's a big deal.
A very big deal. Taylor's team asked for these orders to protect the children's privacy. Yet, simultaneously, her camp is allegedly leaking the exact details of those private settlement offers to outlets like Page 6 to win public sympathy.
It is a total contradiction. You want the court records sealed so your exes can't hurt you, but you want the tabloids on speed dial so you can control the narrative. And if you are loving these Hollywood twists and these wild double standards, make sure you are subscribed. We have got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive.
You really do need to subscribe because it only gets more complicated. Speaking of controlling the narrative, her ex-husband, Tate Paul, recently submitted new text messages and call logs to the court, attempting to revive a previously denied temporary restraining order.
What was his angle with that?
His primary claim was that Taylor actively hid details about a recent mental health treatment facility stay.
Which perfectly illustrates how a genuine medical situation gets twisted into a weapon online. Tate's accusation fed right into the social media rumor mill, painting this picture of a mother in a dangerous, involuntary crisis.
So let's look at the facts. What actually happened medically during that treatment, according to the court records?
Right. During a recent court hearing, the actual truth came out. Taylor did, in fact, check into the Alpine facility for 2 nights, June 19th through the 20th. But her legal team provided the crucial medical context. This was not an involuntary hold, and it was not a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
It was a professionally supervised transition to a new cocktail of mental health medications.
Right, because changing psychiatric medications can have severe side effects. You can experience emotional volatility or really adverse physical reactions.
Exactly. She wanted a medical team and a psychiatrist available around the clock just in case she had a negative reaction. And she was actually incredibly calculating in a good way about the timing. She intentionally scheduled this 2-day stay around Father's Day weekend, meaning the children were already scheduled to be with their fathers. She did this specifically so she wouldn't miss a single day of her own court-ordered parent time.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because you are looking at an incredibly unfair double standard applied to mothers in the public eye.
It is so unfair.
She actually does the deeply responsible thing. She gets professional medical supervision for a medication change to ensure she is stable and healthy for her kids. And how is it received?
Dakota's roommate publicly spreads false allegations online that she was placed on a psychiatric hold.
Exactly. It is like being punished for reading the instruction manual before you try to fix the car. You do the right thing, and they use it to prove you are broken.
It is a profound double standard. But this is where the structural rigidity of the family court system actually protected her, thankfully. Judges do not care about Instagram gossip. They rely on hard data.
Yes. To counter these online rumors, Taylor voluntarily submitted to hair and nail drug tests to prove she was completely clean.
Which, by the way, are incredibly difficult to fake, unlike a standard urine test.
Precisely. They show a long-term history of everything in your system. The judge looked at those clean drug tests, looked at the responsible medical planning she did, and completely favored Taylor in this instance.
That must have been a relief for her.
Huge relief. In fact, Commissioner Minus didn't reduce her custody time at all. He actually expanded her parent time to carry over to Monday mornings.
And he didn't hold back on Dakota either, right?
Not at all. He severely scolded Dakota in court for taking their 2-year-old son on a motorcycle. He firmly stated that a toddler belongs in an enclosed vehicle with age-appropriate safety restraints.
I mean, obviously, a toddler on a motorcycle is terrifying.
Completely. And he also called out Dakota for failing to pay his portion of the guardian ad litem fees, which was actively delaying that legal advocate from even meeting with the child.
So the court is definitely seeing through the smoke and mirrors of social media.
They are desperately trying to. The judge officially implemented that discovery protection order to legally stop the document leaks, and he expressly ordered both parties to stop disparaging each other online. He's trying to build a dam against this flood of public drama. Furthermore, both parties are now complying with DCFS therapy recommendations, specifically a program called PCIT.
Yeah, I saw that acronym in the research. PCIT, Parent-Child Interaction Therapy. How does that actually work? Is it just sitting on a couch talking about your feelings with the kids?
No, it is a highly active, real-time behavioral intervention designed specifically for toxic or disrupted family dynamics. It is actually wild how it works.
Tell me.
The parent and child are in a playroom together, and the parent wears a discreet earpiece. A trained therapist sits behind a two-way mirror and provides live, in-the-moment coaching to the parent through the earpiece.
Wait, really? Like a director in an earpiece?
Exactly like that. They tell the parent exactly how to respond to the child's behaviors, how to de-escalate tantrums in real time, and how to rebuild a secure attachment.
Right.
It is all about rewiring the reactive behaviors we talked about earlier.
That is fascinating. It is literally retraining the nervous system in real time. So the court is taking all these necessary, evidence-based steps to bring quiet order to a chaotic situation. And later in the episode, we are going to talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming that completely derailed that quiet order. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
You really don't want to miss this because it leads us directly to the core paradox of Taylor Frankie Paul's life. The judge issues a strict order. Stop posting about each other online. Go to therapy. Keep it quiet. And what does she do?
She recently posted a video to her millions of followers showing off a binder of what she called cherished letters.
And prominently featured in that video, right at the front of the binder for everyone to zoom in on, was a handwritten apology and love letter from Dakota.
The very man she has a restraining order against. The very man she's accusing of abuse in these legal filings.
Yes. The letter featured Dakota telling her she has a heart of gold and apologizing for the pain he caused her. Naturally, her followers were deeply confused and pretty angry. They were filling the comments, questioning why she would keep this letter, let alone display it on the internet for the world to see.
Especially right after news broke that Dakota is officially dating someone else, Tate Paul.
Right. The timing was highly suspicious.
So what does this all mean? I want you to really think about this for a second. You have a mutual restraining order against someone. You are in a bitter, high-stakes custody battle involving Child Protective Services. Your entire life is under a legal microscope, and your instinct is to post their love letter to your millions of followers.
It defies all legal logic.
In a deleted comment, she defended it by saying she keeps all letters, quote, kind of like a diary of that time. She also sent a text to a friend about dealing with online hate, claiming that hate is a sign of growth. She stated publicly she refuses to log off, choosing instead to show the ugly process of her life. I mean, she even acknowledged that this exact behavior cost her the lead role on ABC's The Bachelorette. Is this an addiction to the drama or just a deeply misguided sense of authenticity?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you are watching the severe psychological and economic toll of the influencer economy play out in real time. We have to understand how the algorithm works. The algorithm does not reward resolution, it rewards ongoing conflict.
Wow. That is so true.
For a reality star, attention, even negative attention, even the online hate that she claims is a sign of growth is currency. It is literally how she maintains her income to pay for these massive legal battles.
So the very behavior that makes her wealthy and relevant on TikTok is the exact behavior that makes her a massive liability in family court.
Precisely. She is trapped between two completely conflicting systems of judgment. Taylor's insistence on treating a massive public platform like a private diary fundamentally blurs the line between personal healing and public relations. By constantly feeding the public narrative to satisfy the algorithm, she is actively complicating her own legal standing. The family court system demands quiet stability, privacy, and de-escalation for the sake of the children. The influencer economy demands loud, constant conflict and extreme vulnerability. The two are entirely incompatible.
It is an incredible, almost tragic tension. On one side, you have the serious, highly regulated, evidence-based world of the justice system, utilizing things like hair drug tests and life coach therapy to find the truth. And on the other side, you have the hyper-visible, emotionally driven, monetized world of influencer culture, where a leaked text message can ruin a reputation in an hour. You have a mother fighting for her kids, battling state petitions and hostile exes, while simultaneously absolutely refusing to step out of the spotlight that is burning her.
And for you listening, this is exactly why this deep dive matters. It is a modern cautionary tale of the highest order. It shows exactly what happens when the court of law collides head-on with the court of public opinion. The truth, the actual nuanced reality of what is happening behind closed doors with these children, often gets completely buried under the spin, the media leaks, the strategic custody offers, and the sheer volume of social media commentary.
It leaves you with something really heavy to mull over today. If our lives, our traumas, and our relationships are entirely documented and monetized online, at what point does the diary stop being a tool for personal reflection and start being a performance for the jury of the internet? Does true healing, the kind of healing the courts are actually looking for, require the one thing that influencers fear most?
Silence.
That is the million-dollar question.
It really is. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.